你好，我叫 Faye, which means hello, my name is Faye. 我是美国人, which means I am Chinese. Actually, I am Chinese American. I was born in a big city called Yixing in the Jiangsu province of China, and I was adopted as a baby, and I'm now in the US, so I am Chinese American. Throughout my entire life, I have still held many of my traditions, my cultural traditions, dear to my heart. The bag I chose is from a local Chinese restaurant called Koi here in Great Barrington. There are many beautiful traditions and things that I feel represent my culture best. One of the first things that because I was born in Yixing is famous for their tea, and this is a teapot made from very special red clay from Yixing, China. Now, tea is a very, very big part of Chinese culture. They have something called a tea ceremony, where it's about the process of brewing and steeping, and it's like there are many different flavors of tea depending on how they brew it, and this brewing involves many rounds of letting the tea sit for different amounts of time and tasting each stage of the brewing process. One of the things that people don't realize is that this orange, the country of origin of this orange, is actually China, even though we see them everywhere. They were originally brought everywhere from China. And this is actually also part of a Chinese holiday called Chinese New Year. And in this holiday, all the things that we do, all the foods, all the traditions are symbolism for things about good luck and a prosperous New Year. For example, these oranges represent prosperity, money, and good luck. We put them out on the dinner table for this big feast that we have with lots of different foods. For example, dumplings, which is meat wrapped in a dough, that represents money because they're like little money purses. Fish, a whole fish from head to tail, represents a whole life and whole family. And long noodles represents a long life. We also, when we celebrate this holiday with children, we give out things called hongbao, which means red envelope. And they're little envelopes that have money in them. And we give these to children just to wish them a very prosperous New Year. We say to everyone, 新年快乐, which means Happy New Year. As you may have noticed, I was speaking in Chinese, and in China, Chinese is written in a special way. These are called the Chinese characters. Now, believe it or not, these characters actually, there are many different dialects that use the same character, such as Cantonese and Shanghainese, and what I speak, which is Mandarin. One of the things that makes our culture unique is the use of chopsticks. These are used for eating things like soup, noodles and soups, and you may have seen these before, but what many people don't know about is this. This is a stand, and it goes like this. This is to rest the chopsticks down on the table so that they don't get wet, so that the table does not get wet. And lastly, I want to introduce you to some of the music of China. And a very, very special Chinese children's CD that I listened to when I was a kid. and it had little rhymes and songs. That was one of my favorites. I used to listen to it all the time as a kid, and that are just some of the many traditions that we have here in China. 谢谢，再见. Thank you. Goodbye.